So one of the things that hinders us the most from coming into alignment with self is the need for connection. So what I mean by that is you may have a period of time where you are all about yourself. You focused on a lot of self-care. You took the time to listen to your own thoughts, took the time to pay attention to and feel the feeling of your own gut, to follow your own intuition, and you did that in your alone time. But somewhere along the way, when you sit with yourself and be by yourself, and a lot of people talk about spiritual enlightenment and spiritual this and spiritual that, they don't touch on the fact that people have an innate need for a connection. Like every human being wants to be connected to something, someone, somebody, wants to belong, wants to be accepted, etc. It's human nature. So even though you may be on a spiritual journey, you may be hindered by your spiritual nature of that need for a connection. So you find yourself in your aloneness or loneliness straying back to certain people, places, or things, being intertwined with that. And once you grow to a certain degree, subconsciously, you really need to lower your vibration a bit to even coexist with some people, places, and things. Like, there comes a time when you've grown to a certain degree, if you've spent time alone, if you've been searching within yourself, and if you've been taking time to focus and come into alignment with yourself, that you have definitely grown and you've raised your vibration. You operate on a totally different frequency. But sometimes being on that frequency can also cause you to experience a sense of being alone, like an aloneness, to where people don't necessarily relate to you because your perspectives have shifted. You know, your mindset has changed. Your habits, the things that you enjoy, has changed a bit. You know what I'm saying? And so when you haven't met your tribe, you know, of other people who are like-minded with you and who are on that same frequency, you experience an alone period. Now the thing is, that's okay, but sometimes as a human being, it can get overwhelming to not feel like you have anybody to share with, to relate to talk to, or maybe sometimes even get advice from, who share the same perspectives, morals, principles, who are just overall like-minded with you. So what you do subconsciously is you go back into the circles, you go back into the areas, you go back to the people who you once released, and then you slow down your momentum toward your self-growth and your self-alignment and your evolution. You slow that down. You slow down that momentum in which you were evolving and growing and healing because of your need for connectivity. You basically do what I like to call dumpster dive. Like, sometimes we dumpster dive. We dive on in that dumpster and go pull out the stuff that we already threw away, the stuff that we at some point in time felt that it didn't serve us, or it wasn't for our greatest and highest good. But in your time of need for a connection, you look around, you don't see nobody, you don't see nothing, you can't find nothing. So your mind and your human nature, it brings you back to the stuff that's old, the stuff that been thrown away, the stuff that, you know, at one point you analyzed and said, okay, well, this relationship not working, this friendship not working, this job not working, this business not working. Let me reevaluate. Let me let this roll out. Let me be out with the old and in with the new. But when the new doesn't arrive quick enough for you, it's easy to go back to what was old. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a part of the human nature that is a little bit harder to overcome when you're trying to walk in the spirit to nullify the deeds of the flesh. Well, the flesh is strong, especially when you feed it. You know what I'm saying? So be mindful that your time of aloneness or your time of feeling disconnected from people and things and not feeling like you have that person or those people to connect with, not having that understanding or feeling understood, feeling seen, feeling heard, it's only a matter of time. Like it's not permanent, it's temporary. Because there's something developing and being birthed out of those times. When you take a baby, for example, a baby is alone as it's being incubated in the womb. It's not out connected with anything else. As it's growing and it's being added to and evolving from one stage of whatever the fetal process is, from one stage to another, it's alone, it's secluded. And sometimes we have to embrace that seclusion or that solitude to fully birth out whatever it is that we're birthing out. We can't feel slighted or feel disconnected or start to question our motives and our intentions of what we're pursuing because of other people not seeing it, understanding us, or because you just simply don't mesh with somebody no more. Now you clashing, so another thing about people is we've all met different people at certain times of our lives, and we may have connected on a particular frequency that doesn't exist within us anymore. So if that person is at the same place that they were when you knew them, met them, meshed with them, gelled with them, vibed with them, and now you've taken time to grow and evolve, you go back to that person's at that same frequency, there's either one or two things that's going to happen. Either that person is going to rise to your frequency, or you're going to have to lower your frequency to be able to coexist with that person. So that's what you risk when you succumb to that feeling of loneliness or disconnection, and when you need it or want it so much that you actually go back into the dumpster and pull out old scenarios, situations, people, circumstances, because you're wanting to meet a certain temporary need that you have. I would advise that in those times when you feel that way, or when you feel that lack of connection, begin to do things that makes you feel good. Start thinking about, okay, well, I don't feel good about this disconnection that I'm feeling. I do want to have a genuine connection with somebody and share genuine and intimate feelings and thoughts and share my mindset, just share myself with somebody. Well, when you feel like you can't do that, think about the things that you can do that does make you feel good, the things that serve you, the things that make you feel free, the things that make you feel liberated, whether it's art, whether it's music, whether it's taking yourself out. Connect with yourself. When you feel that need to connect with someone else, instead connect with yourself, because you're not going to be seen and heard on the level and vibration and frequency and mindset and perspective that you're at. So meet yourself at that mindset, that vibration, that perspective. Meet yourself at it. Let yourself know that you're not alone, because you're with you. And a lot of times we don't feel it, we don't recognize it, we don't know it, but you're all that you need. As long as you understand what you're doing, as long as you understand where you are, who you are, that's all that you really need. So in the midst of you feeling those feelings that might make you want to go left or this or that and other, or go backwards, go diving in that dumpster, assure yourself that you haven't abandoned you. Assure yourself that you understand you. Assure yourself that you're good enough for you. You're enough, you're good enough, you're deserving enough, and you're on this journey, and that's all that matters. It doesn't need anybody else's perspective to line up and to match and to understand and to this and to that. Yes, it feels good, but it's not necessarily needed. And don't allow it to discourage you. Don't allow it to cause you to revert back to something that you already said wasn't for you. It's a reason that you initially decided and came up with the idea that, okay, this is not for you. You already sorted all of this out and said, okay, I'll take this, but I'll leave that. I don't need this, I don't need that, I don't need this one, I don't need that one. You pushed those things away and you held dear to you the things that you felt like was conducive to your growth and to your evolution and to you moving forward and to you changing and to you embodying this new mindset and this new perspective. So don't feel discouraged behind anything that doesn't agree with you, anything or anybody that doesn't understand you, because really, as long as you understand yourself and as long as you get tunnel vision for what it is that you're doing and where it is that you're going and what it is that you focus on and the things that are important and that matter to you, that's all that matters. So the message is, do not lose momentum toward what it is that you're working on, for what it is that you're called to. Don't lose momentum toward what it is that you're birthing out. Only you can do it. Only you can do it, and if it takes for you to be in that incubation process, in that growth process, in solitude and by your lonesome, then embrace it. It won't be like that always. Sooner or later, you will find that tribe of people who will understand every aspect of everything you've ever gone through, anything you've ever went through, every mindset and perspective you've ever had. And it's going to be a wowing moment, like, wow, even though I haven't been totally in the presence of these people, I still haven't been alone. You know what I'm saying? Just because we're not in the presence of our tribe, we're not alone. We are interconnected beings, and just the energy of you operating the way you operate, and there's somebody operating in that same frequency and vibration, that alone makes you not alone. You know what I'm saying? And also, in addition to that, your spirit team that you trust and that you depend on and that you are guided by, you're not alone. So don't lose momentum due to the need for connectivity. And that's it.